Okay, an interesting day today again, and we'll go through every single bar, what it is telling you, and how different trades were possible using the price action analysis. It's simple but not easy. Let's go through and understand what trades are possible. Okay, so price gapped up uh, within yesterday's range, and it started falling down immediately. So what you see here is open and high are same. Bears pushed the prices down, but bulls were able to hold at least in this zone. So that's why you see this tail, right? There's no action that we take here because this bar one is in the price action range of yesterday's. It has not opened beyond the range, or there is no failure as such here that we see. V8. Bar 2 is basically bulls bought the close of this bar, right, and they kept on pushing the prices up, right. So when you see bar 2, this is a strong close here, we don't do anything yet. What do you see next? Bar 3, there is a follow through and a very nice strong breakout above bar 1's high. So there is a possible continuation of the bullish move that has been established as of now. But that is just a possibility. We will wait for further clues to be dropped or uncovered, right? What do you see next is bar 4. What do you see? Those bears basically did not allow this bull breakout to continue. There is a failure that you see clearly, right? Now that means those bulls who bought the close, looking at the continuation of the move or betting on the continuation of this up move, are disappointed because they wanted to see the breakout continuation or good follow through. They don't see that here, right? So those who were disappointed and could sense that this is not what they want, they scaled in lower, or they just got out here at break even. That's why you see this bar's high is 16805 and this bar's high is also 16805. So bulls just gave up here, and they knew that bears are going to take the charge and the breakout will fail, right? Those who were aggressive or smart enough to understand what was going on got out at break even or maybe small loss. Some scaled in here and managed to get a small profit, right? So there are various scenarios that are possible here. Understand the essence of what is happening here, right? So what you see is a bottom line is breakout failure, and then you get short below this bar, right? If you see, this is the gradient one because the breakout has just happened and it was a nice one, and this is a small bar and you don't want to go against that bar. Okay, wait for some more price action. What do you see next? Bar 5, a very strong bear bar closing on its low. This is basically 3 bar pattern wherein it's moved above the resistance, which is bar 1's high, and it is failing at that level. So you enter below bar 5 low as a short trade, right? So that's why I have marked these 2 arrows. So depending upon how you want to position yourself, get in. If you entered below this bar 799, this is the bar wherein you got your 30 points, at least 30 points. If you entered below this bar 789, this is basically all this bar also gave you 30 points. So both these shorts were able to book their profits at 30 points, at least 30 points, which is the first profit target, right? And we had a room till at least bar 1's low and the EMA, right? So now you decide whether you want to get out completely or you want to hold the partial position, right? What happened next? Those bulls who were supporting in this zone, right? They are scaling in lower. Those who did not give up, or those who did not book the position, the long position, they're trying to get in here. Or so bears are getting out booking profits. Bulls are trying to scale in here, right? So that is why you see this tail. Some bulls manage to get the hold. So those who bought the close of this bar uh, are basically scaling in. But what do you see? This is the tail. So that's not what we want to see, right? So these bulls are not getting any strong conviction here. Next bar is the bear bar, right? What you see here is this 768.25 and 768. So it poked below this, but it couldn't get past this bar's high. So these bulls are also disappointed now, and they are going to give up. Now, this is also a possible short opportunity because we see, it's all about who is trapped and where can we get the move. I mean, quick one that you can bet on, right? But here is an EMA, which is a possible support, so it needs to be managed well. You can go for a scalp trade if you can think quickly and get out quickly, but it's up to you. If you cannot, you can stay aside or out of this move. Anyway, those who shorted here are going to hold the partial position and make profit, right? Those who shorted here below this bar, right, they are going to make at least 10 points of profit. This is 768, right? Because you can see that this bar opened at the close of this bar, so there was a sense of urgency that bears have shown, which is also a clue that this will at least give you a scalp profit. So 768, this went down to 752, so you got at least 15 points, right? Then what happened? There is a support at the EMA as we expected or anticipated. Bulls tried to hold. Those who bought in here did not give up in this zone. They scaled in lower because they bought the close of this bar, because those who basically bought in here were betting on or ready to scale in lower, right? And that's why you said this bullish bar being fought. But what happened? How did this bar close? Even though this looks to be a bullish one, but why is this tail, topping tail, which is at least 50% of the range of this bar? Because those who bought in here in this zone and scaled in have given up. They have given up, and they are going to wait for further price action to unfold before they make any more long trades, right? So bulls have given up. Bears knew that they have given up because they this particular bar just tested this entry point, and so that was a breakout test. So you could get short below this bar as well, which is 750, and it went down to 736 or 733. So you could at least get 10 or 15 points of scalp profit, right? Now, usually you must have seen my videos. I avoid trading around the moving average because I've been looking for swing trades with risk of 10 points and a reward of at least 30 points. But there are these opportunities that are there where aggressive traders definitely take them and profit from them. But you need to be really nimble, quick one to decide and take action. If you can do that, this is how you should manage. This is how you should read and execute. Okay, so coming back to today's analysis, so they got the scalpers profit. These bulls, some of these bulls are again scaling in lower, possibly scaling in lower, and or there is a profit booking by bears, and hence that you see these tails at the bottom of these two bars. Bulls tried or made an attempt, but it was held around this area. So this bar, right, we look at the left side of the price action and see which is a strong trend bar, and if there is a move against that bar, we see how far that move can go. So this bullish move was stalled here. You see here these bears are not allowing the price to go up beyond this zone. Then there was some action between these two bull bars. They made an attempt, but it was not enough. It couldn't get past this area. That's why you see this gap down bar, and then bears try to push the prices. Okay, uh, there were three bars, consecutive bear bars, but you see tails on these two bars. So price failed to go past this particular zone. Then so possibly bulls were scaling in lower here in this zone because they did not want the control to be completely passed to bears. They did not give up yet, and these are mostly scalpers who are just fighting it out with bears here. You see a gap up, but again a tail. You see this bar which is managed to close above the moving average, but it is stalling here. This is the resistance that has been established, and this is where it is failing now multiple times, right? This is the first attempt, this is the second, and then that failed. Looking at this, you could scalp below this bar, right? So this low is 749.40 and this low is 735.65 for 10 points, or this went down to 732. So 15 points were possible in this particular trade. You could go for 5 points of risk and 10 points of profit on scalpers. It's up to you, but you need to be really quick, as I mentioned, right? So these bears sense that bulls are disappointed. Now what is happening here is this, whatever is happening is basically within this bar's range. It has failed to go below this bar, it has failed to go above this bar, right? And then you see overlaps, lot of tails, this bar, but there is no follow through, again a tail, a bar with overlap. So what is happening here is that is a trading range price action that has been established. Now it is very important to uh, sit out of this zone of price action, because if you cannot manage it well, you do not get the entries at the right point, and you do not be emotionally strong here to be disciplined, then you are going to be killed. Better to set out, watch for clean trend moves and try and get into those moves, either with a pullback or the setups like trap that I keep explaining, or triangle breakouts, and that's what you should be doing most of the time. If you are experienced or a quick one, someone who can manage the trades quickly, then you can look at the limit order scaling and in and scalp the moves. Okay, but that is not necessary for us to be profitable. Okay, so what happened next is that after this bear bar, bulls were trying to fight it out, but they were failing at this moving average, right? So I have drawn this rectangle, which is this trading area, trading range zone, right? And you can also see that it is failing around this moving average. So what I see here is one. Okay, this is up move, up push, second attempt. This is second attempt by bulls. So there is a kind of a triangle pattern that has formed, and when the bull attempt failed to go past the EMA, bears sold the close of this bar immediately, and they pushed the prices down. Of course, this is all a trading range zone, so it was not going to be a swing entry unless you can manage it well, right? So at least those who can scalp it, those they sold below this bar, or they maybe placed the limit orders here, right? So those who sold below this bar, 740, they got the at least 10 points from the scalper, or they got more than that, right? As expected, the breakout failed below this range zone, right? Because it's a price action, which is basically flip-flopping. There's a lot of overlap and tails, so breakouts on either end are going to fail. What happened next? There, those bulls who expected the breakout to fail, they bought in here, right? And they're betting on the continuation here. What do they see next? Is this weak looking very narrow bar, which is not giving you any clue, because it is just a tail on top and bottom and no body at all, right? So these bulls who were betting on the failed breakout and continuation at least to EMA, right, are disappointed. What do you see next? The bears sensed it, and they're trying to push the prices down, but there are some who bought the below the low of this bar, or there are these bears who basically bet on the bear breakout continuation, and they saw this bull bar, right, that there is a failure, so they wanted to get out at break even. That's what they are doing here. So they sold the close of this bar, but then they scale in here, and they gave up the position here. So some of them might have done that. Those who were betting on the continuation remained in the game, right? And so you can see there is a clear uh, action from both the sides. These bears are giving up, these bulls are scaling in, but they are also giving up here. It could not get past this zone. So that's also a signal that bulls made multiple attempts, they have failed. Bears, those who were earlier sold the close, are trapped out now. They want to get in. So bears are trapped out and bulls are trapped in, right? So you get short below this bar 726, in this bar and you get at least a scalper's profit. It actually gave you 30 points, but it depends whether you can manage it or not, because once you see these kind of a tail, because this bar has closed, is after the fact. When it was happening, it was a strong bull bar which was coming up, right? And it is easy to get panicked and get out at the wrong time and wrong place. So be very careful. If you cannot manage scalps, stay out of these kind of trades. Stick to swing trades, be consistent, and that is good enough. Okay, some bulls who did not give up in this zone or had bought in this area, they scaled in lower here. They bought the close of this bar, and that's why you see this tail. They gave up here because once they saw this bar, they knew their chances of the continuation of up move are gone. So they got out. They were disappointed, or they are trapped in, and that's why they gave up. Okay. So you see this tail, and then there will be a continuation. I have drawn the Fibonacci extension here, which is basically, this was the up move in the morning. So once it failed, it will at least give us the equal move in the downward direction. So this is where it is, like 16706. That target was hit, and then bulls started getting in and bears started getting out. That was also the third push here. This is the first push, second push, and this is the third push. This was the trend line that is there for the down move, right? So aggressive bulls basically kept buying here. You can see multiple bars with tails on the bottom, and they kept the prices in check here. They knew that bears are getting out in this profit booking zone, and bulls are scaling in here, right? And that's why you see this kind of a up move, which was decent one against the trend, which could manage to break the trend line of the day, at least as of this point. Of course, all this happened after 9:45, but I'm just using this to illustrate that the measured move is also one of the important ways where you can use this as a profit booking point, right? So those who could hold on to their patience managed to get at least, this was 16,799, and this was a point 16,706 at 90 points. Let's say 80 points you managed on the remaining position or part position. This is 16,789, and this is something 16,706. So again, same thing here. You could manage to get 80 points on the remaining position. So first part booked at 30 points, and the remaining part booked at 80 points, or maybe you booked in between as well, maybe at 50 points and the remaining at 80 points. So on an average, at least 40 points were possible from this move, and there were some scalps in between that you could pick up if you are an experienced trader, and you can execute your plans quickly, right? So that's it. I hope this video explanation helped you. I have put the summary or some salient points about these trades which were important from understanding today's price action analysis. So here it is. I hope that also helps. Thanks for watching. I hope it helps.